So, a common misunderstanding regarding Luke 12:38 and the watch times Jesus outlines is that it's one or the other. Well, first, part of the problem is when people are reading the King James or any other translation for that matter, they come across this particle if here, they assume it's one or the other, when what we have to do is understand more regarding the function of this particle in the Greek. Where here in the Devar you see the little so if. So if he comes. So if he comes. It actually occurs twice in this verse, which in the King James they translated it if here, but or here, which we're going to come back to or in relationship to the watch times enumerated in Mark 13:35, which is different from this word here. Here in Luke 12:38, it's from G2579, where here in Mark 13:35, or is from G2228. But we'll come back to Mark 13:35 in a minute. Here, the Greek particle is what's called a contraction of the words kai, which is and. And then like and or even, which you see again, the Devar translates so if. And here, according to the context here, because this particle can have various contexts, heightens the possibility of something. So what it's doing is heightening the force of a possibility according to entering the wedding feasts. Either or at eventide, which has disappeared now, or midnight, or cock's voice. So it's not one or the other, because some will enter here, and then some will enter here, and then some will enter last. Where so is really would be a statement of confidence concerning those who understand. So he comes. Where if would be a condition of not certain, which this particle can express both. For example, in Mark chapter 5, verse 29, the woman said, so if I also only touch the raiment, I will be saved. So she was emphasizing touching his raiment as she was fighting through the crowd. She was determined, but she possibly was not sure if she could reach Jesus. So the concept of the particle can either go one way or the other, so or if. Again, according to a heightened possibility, those who don't enter the wedding feast at the first watch time have the possibility of entering at midnight, second watch time conclusion. And then in turn again, if they don't enter here, they then have the so if heightened possibility of entering at the third watch time, which there is no entering of the wedding of the fourth watch time. Because that's prepared for the cursed, Matthew 25:41. Now here again, when we come back to Mark 13:35, when the Lord of the house comes, this is a verb where either here is an adverb modifying this, where then we have or, which again is the particle from Strong's G2228 defining a distinction. So this serves as what's called a distinctive or comparative conjunction. So in its core function is to basically present a choice or an alternative or a comparison between connected orders, terms, or even ideas, as it's found in many, many, many verses of the Bible. So it's a disjunctive particle distinguishing between the watch time terms, each in his own order. 1 Corinthians 15:23, which I made a video recently, video 89, talking about this and its relationship to the watch times, where when the Lord is present in the earthland, he comes for those who are prepared at various orders. That's the concept. The concept of the so if he comes. Like for me, I'm pursuing into the uploosening of the first watch time here. Uploosening. See my video 051. So he comes because I know he's coming at eventide. It's not a matter of if for me. But there's others who are clueless about this. In fact, in this generation that we're living now, most Christians have no idea of what I'm talking about here. Okay, so those who will be prepared into midnight, it's so he comes in the middle of the night. We're coming in, we're prepared. And those who weren't, it's if. And then even again, into the conclusion of the third watch time, which is the sign given Peter, it's so if he comes according to this order. Where if it's still if, it's into the last watch time here. So this is how we have to understand the particle. Again, here from Strong's G2579, where if you were to Google, what does the particle from G2579 define? Here's a ton of information on it. It's not cut and dry. Again, it's not one or the other. Or then again, the particle in Mark 13:35 from G2228 can also be searched on Google. Just ask, what does the biblical particle from Strong's G2228 define? And it gives you some information right here. Because interpreting this as if it's one or the other, as well as in Luke 12:38 here, blocks completely the understanding of the most profound truth regarding the orders of coming into the wedding feasts in the last days and the wisdom that's given through these parables so we can understand the timeline and sequence of events according to the watch times, which connects to everything in the Bible, not just entering the wedding, but it connects to understanding who, what, and where each parable is speaking to. Because some of the parables of Jesus are speaking to a pre-midnight audience, and some speak to a post-midnight audience, which the midnight is the rapture, which most Christians don't understand either. They don't understand that eventide is a unique order of the resurrection, namely the out-resurrection, which comes prior to the rapture, years prior. Watch my video 024 as well as 051 again, uploosen. Because again, uploosen is the first order in Luke 12:36 through 38 here, according to what Paul said in Philippians 1:23. According to the out-resurrection, first order. Not the into the wedding of Matthew 25:10, which is the second order at midnight. God bless.